arguably the biggest booth and the most sizable presence here is Samsung. What have you learned about Samsung the last couple of days?
Well, Samsung loves to have big booths.
Yeah.
But one thing we've really learned about Samsung is that they kind of don't seem like they want to be here in a sense. So Samsung, during the show, sent out an invitation for the Galaxy S4, which is their big phone, their big device. And it's coming out in 2 weeks at an event in New York.
Yeah.
So they're not doing that here, and they've typically done events like that here. And it's sort of part of a bigger trend, but they're Samsung, and so they always have a million announcements. They announced the Galaxy Note 8, which is a giant, I guess it's a tablet, but it also makes phone calls, so I don't really hold it like this,
it's a tablet.
I guess.
Yeah, we don't know what it is. It's a hybrid.
But so Samsung is kind of continuing to do what they've always done. They're just blanketing the universe with everything, but they're really starting to pull away in a way that kind of Apple has done over the last several years and do their own thing.
This year has really been marked already as like the rise of Samsung. Another big trend to watch, and located right next to the Samsung booth, is a huge Huawei booth. I mean, the Chinese smartphone makers, the tech companies are here in a very big way. I've noticed across the city of Barcelona, major advertising spend.
Everywhere.
Yeah, what have you learned from Huawei and ZTE?
So both Huawei and ZTE are kind of stepping in where these other companies have left out, and they think they can. This is their chance to get into the U.S. market in a really big way.
Yeah.
So Huawei used this show to announce the Ascend P2, which is their flagship phone. It's a phone they really believe is going to be global and huge and popular. And they have all kinds of carrier partners that they haven't had before. So this is really almost a second coming out party for Huawei, saying like, we are a big consumer brand, we belong here, we make high-end phones. They think that they can be with Samsung and Apple at kind of the high end of that range.
That's right. They had a big showing at CES, now another big showing here.
Exactly.
ZTE is showing up with the Firefox operating system smartphone, and that's an interesting trend that we've seen here, is the launch of Firefox operating system, the mobile operating system. Is it going to be a dark horse in the race after Google Android and iOS?
I think it could be. It's interesting how much support they've gotten so quickly. There are a number of manufacturers that are building Firefox phones. There's Alcatel and ZTE, and Sony is even being rumored to do it, and LG. So if they can get that much support this quickly, I think it really could be a big deal. And they're mostly targeting emerging markets and sort of smaller countries where there hasn't been as much cell phone penetration.
Yeah.
But if they can get to a place where they're big in those places and kind of as they grow into smartphones, Firefox has a really good chance to be there over the long term.
Yeah, definitely, especially in the developing markets, as you said. Now, both The Verge and CNN Newsroom, we both had a chance to sit down with Stephen Elop, the CEO of Nokia. I just want to get your sense of where the company is now and how much momentum is behind Nokia.
It's interesting. We expected something big from Nokia at this show. Last year they announced the 808 PureView, which is sort of their wacky camera phone that's mostly a camera, but it was fantastic and at least got a lot of press and news and people were talking about Nokia again. So we thought maybe it would be a tablet or maybe they'd have another camera thing. That was rumored, and they really didn't. And Nokia they've always sold a lot of phones to those same emerging markets we're talking about, and they did a lot of that. They have a smartphone that's 15 euros, and that's pretty interesting. But in the sense of kind of big, buzzy things that people are going to get really excited about, it seems like Nokia kind of fell flat in a sense. And Stephen Elop is very good at staying on message, but sort of intimated that there might be more things coming soon. But for right now, it wasn't the show.
Like a tablet? But we couldn't get any word on that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Last question for you about the event itself, the Mobile World Congress. I mean, it's interesting that people from Google Android are here. There's no Google booth. There was no major announcement from Microsoft Windows. Did it feel a bit subdued this year?
It did a little bit, and I think what we're seeing is a lot of these companies with kind of the press the way that it works, and companies like Apple showing that you can have these big events and really kind of dominate the news cycle and excite people with your own venues. Everybody's wanting to do that. Even HTC, who's right over there, announced their big flagship phone before we got here. They're showing it here, but they announced it at their own event last week. And Samsung's coming out in 2 weeks, and Google announced their Chromebook last week. So there's a lot here, but it seems like a show like this, and even like CES, they're becoming traditional trade shows again, where it's industry people coming to get to know each other, and they make deals. There's a putting green upstairs just for like making deals. But it seems like in a sense of a big consumer show where we see the really exciting stuff, it's starting to slow, or at least lull, and it's going to be interesting to see what a show like this does.
The focus feels like it's more on the people in the industry as opposed to the products and the putting upstairs.